Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and in today's session we will be discussing about dipole moment. It's a very important topic of the chapter Chemical Bond class 11, and it will help us in finding out what is the percent ionic character in covalent compounds, and what exactly dipole moment is, what all things we can calculate using this, and different formulas related to it. So please watch the video till the end. First thing is, dipole moment we represent with the symbol mu, right? And where do we actually use it? In case we want to find out whether a molecule is polar or non-polar. By the name itself you can make out. Polar means poles, means electronegativity difference. So just by having electronegativity difference we cannot judge that a molecule will have a dipole moment. Then let us see how we are going to do it. Now dipole moment, as I said, is represented with the symbol mu. It is a product of delta into D. That means we say that it is the product of charge. Delta is charge. Okay, let me write here. Mu is equal to delta into D. This delta is charge. And D is the distance, the internuclear distance between the two atoms. Let me consider, say, HF. There is electronegativity difference between hydrogen and fluorine. Fluorine, being more electronegative, will pull the electron pairs towards itself. So this will develop partial negative charge. Hydrogen will develop partial positive charge. The magnitude will be same in both, but the sign will be different, right? So what is the charge? That value multiplied by the distance between the two combining atoms. In case the two atoms are same, that means if we are talking about diatomic molecule, homo means same, diatomic means two atoms ka molecule, then the electronegativity difference is 0, then this delta will be 0, then the product will be 0. That means all homodiatomic molecules will have dipole moment 0. They are non-polar molecules, right? Now HF, electronegativity difference is there, plus you have the D also, so it is a polar molecule, right? Now charge normally we find in terms of either coulombs or in terms of ESU. 4.8 into 10 to the power minus 10 ESU. Okay, so either you can write as 1.6 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, but in SI units we take like this, ESU. Okay, now electrostatic unit, this normally charge will be of this. Distance is normally angstrom. Angstrom, if we are taking in centimeters, it will be 10 to the power minus 8 centimeter. Okay, that is centimeter. Yeah, so this may vary depending upon what is the charge, what is the delta value. So this part remains constant. That means it is something of the order of 10 to the power minus, if I take the product, it is 10 to the power minus 18. So it is something of the order of 10 to the power minus 18 ESU centimeter. Right? So 10 to the power minus 18 ESU centimeter is taken as equal to 1 dBi. That means the unit of dipole moment is dBi. Okay, or we can simply write it as 1 capital D. That is the symbol of the dipole, the unit of the dipole moment. So dipole moment for any molecule will be written in terms of dBi. If it is having 0, that means it is non-polar. If it is having some value for the dipole moment, that means it is a polar molecule. I hope this part is clear. The charge is always of the order of 10 to the power minus 10 ESU and distance is of the order of 10 to the power minus 8 centimeter. So the product we take it as 10 to the power minus 18 ESU centimeter. And every bond where there is electronegativity difference will be having some dipole moment. So every bond where there is a difference in the electronegativity, there is a bond dipole moment. If it is only two molecules, there will be a bond dipole moment. How do we represent the bond dipole moment? We represent the bond dipole moment by an arrow from less electronegative towards more electronegative by the positive sign at the tail. Right, so this bond is a polar bond, so this will have a bond dipole moment with arrow from less electronegative to more electronegative with the positive sign at the end. So till here it is clear. Now let us see how you can say it's polar or non-polar molecule. Let's first talk about diatomic molecules. Diatomic, as I already said, if it is homodiatomic molecule, that means H2, Cl2, O2, etc. These all have dipole moment equal to 0. But if there is electronegativity difference, say I am writing HF, I am writing say HCl or HBr or HI, they all have electronegativity difference. This will be, halogens are electronegative. So these all halogens will have partial negative, hydrogen positive. Partial negative, this will be positive. This will be partial negative, this is partial positive. Same way iodine. Okay, so that means all these are polar molecules. All these will have net dipole moment. This will not be equal to 0. They will have net dipole moment. Now suppose you are asked that which is having out of these four options, which is having the maximum dipole moment. So you will take care of this mu value. What is mu? Mu is delta into D, right? So D also varies. Though the D also varies, the internuclear distance, hydrogen is constant, but the size of the halogen is increasing. So the D is increasing this way. But what about the electronegativity? Electronegativity, the charge is maximum here. So we have to see the overall product, which will have more. Okay, so as of now, you can mention that more the electronegativity difference between, that has the more influence over it. Okay, so more will be the dipole moment, though there are certain exceptional cases which we will be discussing in haloalkanes, but here we can mention the dipole moment follows this order. That means HF will have the maximum dipole moment, HCl is next, then HBr and then HI. Because the electronegativity, the charge contribution is more. When both are increasing, which contribution is more, that is to be considered. Okay, now we will talk about polyatomic molecules. In polyatomic molecules, we can take different categories. Different categories means we can consider one central atom with 2 surrounding, 3 surrounding, 4 and so on. So let me first talk about AB2 type. AB2 type means one central atom and 2 surrounding. Okay, so we will consider these examples. Now I have written here various categories. Say this, one central atom, 2 surrounding. Now we should be also knowing the structure also for the molecule, that will help us in calculating the dipole moment. Now we know carbon dioxide is a linear molecule, so we will draw the linear molecule. This is more electronegative than carbon, so the bond dipole moment for this will be towards right hand side. Each bond has its dipole moment. The overall molecule's dipole moment has to be calculated. Okay, so left hand side, this bond, the bond dipole moment will be towards this oxygen because O is more electronegative. Now both the bond dipole moments are having the equal value, right? So they are equal and opposite in direction. Therefore the net dipole moment for carbon dioxide will be 0. Right? Okay, so it's a linear molecule, bond dipole moment is 0. Then let us consider BeCl2. BE will be the central and we know it's a linear molecule. It's not always true that there are two surrounding means it will be a linear molecule only. That also depends how many lone pairs of electrons are there. So chlorine is more electronegative. This will be towards right hand side. This bond dipole moment, this bond dipole moment will be in the opposite direction, equal and opposite in direction. Net dipole moment is 0. It's a non-polar molecule. C2H2. Let's draw its structure. It is this acetylene or ethyne. Right, so this bond carbon is more electronegative. That in periodic classification also we have done. This is 2.4 according to Pauling. This is 2.1. This is more electronegative. This one is also more electronegative. The bond dipole here, there is no difference in electronegativity. Again, equal and opposite direction. Net dipole moment will be 0. These three molecules are non-polar. Right, so carbon dioxide, beryllium dichloride, these three are non-polar molecules. So this dipole moment helps us in calculating the polarity of the molecule. Okay, now let us consider another example. Say this one, water. I'm talking about water. Central atom is 1. There are two surrounding. It comes under this category of AB2 only. But we know what is the shape of this. Carbon, water is having angular shape, V shape. So you will have one bond this side, you have one bond this side. It's actually geometry wise tetrahedral, but there are two lone pairs of electron. So one lone pair of the electron here, one lone pair of the electron here. Right, and out of this, O is more electronegative. So this bond dipole moment will be towards O, this bond dipole moment also towards O. This lone pair as such is here only. This also will be here only. So these electron clouds are here on the top. This are adding to it. So this is not having the net dipole moment 0. It is not net dipole moment 0. Therefore we say water is a polar molecule. Otherwise you can remember one very, very important thing. If there is a lone pair, mostly, not always true. It also depends upon the geometry of the molecule. What is the shape of the molecule? Normally it is, if there is a lone pair, then it is a polar molecule. If in case there is no lone pair means you will write it as non-polar. But if lone pair, mostly it is polar, but at times it is not also, we will consider its example. Right, so let's consider first sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide shapes, but for shapes you can also refer to my previous videos, VSEPR theory and hybridization. Okay, so sulfur, double bond here, it's an angular molecule. There is one lone pair of electron on the top. This is more electronegative. The individual bond moments are towards oxygen, and this lone pair electron density is on the top. So anyway, these are same, but that is not same. They are also at an angle. They are not going to cancel each other. They are at an angle, the dipole moments. So the net dipole moment for sulfur dioxide is also not 0. It is a polar molecule. Right? It's a polar molecule, sulfur dioxide. Right. Now let me also consider another example of XeF2, which is coming under the category of AB2. But let's see now what is the shape of it. Let's see the geometry. It is having linear geometry though, but the total electron pairs as per the VSEPR theory, when you are calculating, there are 3 lone pairs. Right? There is one lone pair over here. There is second lone pair here. This is third lone pair. It is linear, but there are 3 lone pairs. You might think that lone pair, as I said just now, lone pair means polar molecule. Most of the time it is. The lone pair is, they don't think it is a polar molecule. Just see what is the shape of it. It is linear. Fluorine being more electronegative, this bond moment will be towards fluorine. This bond moment will be towards the other fluorine. The dipole moments are in the opposite direction. These are said to be the individual bond moments. The overall bond, the dipole moment will be of a molecule. The net dipole moment is 0. So we say it is a non-polar molecule. XeF2 is a non-polar molecule. Okay, so please make note of whatever we have discussed here. Polyatomic molecules, we have considered many examples. they are linear, it's getting cancelled, these are non-polar. In this same category we have taken some polar and some non-polar. Water, they are Ab2 type only, one central atom and two surrounding, but still they are polar, lone pair is there. At the same time, there are certain examples where there is a lone pair but they are non-polar. That depends upon the geometry. It is a linear molecule, HCF2. Because linear, these are getting cancelled. Yeah, moving on to the next example, Ab3 type. Ab3, one central atom and three surrounding atoms. Then we will see the geometry of this molecule. It is BF3 trigonal planar. So boron in the center, one fluorine here, another fluorine this side, next fluorine this side. It's a symmetrical molecule. Fluorine being more electronegative, these bond moments will be towards fluorine. This bond moment will be towards fluorine. This one is towards fluorine. No lone pair. It's a non-polar molecule. It is non-polar molecule. These two will have the resultant dipole moment down. So this and the upper one will cancel each other. It's a symmetrical molecule where no lone pairs are there. It is non-polar. Sulfur trioxide is also a symmetrical molecule. It is having again trigonal planar shape. So these bond moments will be towards oxygen. This one is towards oxygen. This one is towards oxygen. This is also non-polar molecule. NH3. Now we know what is the shape of NH3. It is pyramidal. Pyramidal shape. So there is one lone pair present on the top. So because of the presence of the lone pair, it is polar, and you just see the shape also. Nitrogen being more electronegative, the individual bond moments will be towards nitrogen. This is more electronegative, the bond moments will be towards nitrogen, and these three are adding on to the electron density on the top. So there is a net resultant electron density on the top. It is a polar molecule. It's a polar molecule, ammonia. Right, and the another one is NF3. NF3, now it's also pyramidal. There is fluorine here, this is fluorine, and the electron density on the top. Fluorine is more electronegative. The direction will be different. And we know dipole moment is a vector quantity. It has magnitude as well as direction. It's having a magnitude as well as a direction. The bond moment is towards fluorine. This bond moment is towards fluorine. These three are down and this electron density is above it. Now sometimes a question is asked, out of these two, ammonia and NF3, which has more dipole moment and why? So what will you write? You can just see on the basis of the structure you can discuss. These three are up and the electron density is also up. That means this is adding on to it. The net resultant dipole moment is on the top. Right? These three are down and this is on the top. The net resultant dipole moment is there but lesser than ammonia. So we will say that ammonia is having more dipole moment. Dipole moment of NH3 is greater than the dipole moment of NF3. It's an important question asked. Okay, so this is about AB3 type. Let's move on to AB4 type. AB4. We can take now you know that lone pair is not there, it has to be non-polar. So methane is a tetrahedral molecule. So you will draw the tetrahedral molecule. Carbon being more electronegative, all dipole moments will be, individual bond moments will be towards carbon, and this is coming down towards the carbon. These three at an angle is 109 degrees 28 minutes. When at an angle they are moving towards carbon. This as such is coming down. So it's a symmetrical molecule. The dipole moment net would be 0. It's a non-polar molecule. So methane is non-polar molecule. Carbon tetrachloride is also the same. It's a symmetrical molecule. You will draw tetrahedral structure. And all bond moments are towards chlorine because chlorine is more electronegative, and that means this is also a non-polar molecule. Just check these examples. These examples are having one central atom, 4 surrounding, but only the difference is it is not of the type AB4. The two surrounding, there are two different types of the surrounding. This is also two different types of surrounding. two different types. So these all will not be non-polar. They will be polar molecules. It will not be a symmetrical molecule. Got it? Now moving on to AB5 and AB6 categories. We'll take example of PCl5 and SF6 here. These are also non-polar molecules. We know PCl5. PCl5 is P in the center. You are having trigonal bipyramidal, right? So these get cancelled here. The chlorine, this is more electronegative, this is more electronegative, this is more electronegative. So these are at 120 degrees. They will cancel out. This also on the top, this is at the bottom. They also will cancel out. The net dipole moment is 0 here. Same is the case with sulfur hexafluoride. Suppose you write like this, SF6. This is also all 90 degree. All will cancel out with each other. This is also net dipole moment would be 0. These two are examples of non-polar molecules. These both are non-polar molecules. Got it? Okay. One more example I just remembered here of one of the type which we earlier discussed, that lone pair is there. Still they are non-polar. So one category you can have is this XeF4. Yes, XeF4, if you are seeing, the shape is xenon here in the center. Then you have square. This is one lone pair here. This is one lone pair here. This is F and this is F. The shape is square planar. The shape is square planar. It's having two lone pairs. So you might think that lone pair is there, that means it should be a polar molecule. But you see what direction these four fluorines are present. They are at 90 degree. So this bond moment, they all will get cancelled out. So this is also the example of a non-polar molecule. Though there is a lone pair, it's a non-polar molecule. Yeah, sometimes you're also asked questions to compare dipole moment of cis and trans. Now, what is cis? If there is a double bond and the two carbons which are bearing a double bond, if the groups present on them, the similar groups are on the same side, like chlorines on the same side, hydrogens on the same side. Even if only one group is same, it will be cis. Say only H is same, then also it will be cis. Here it can be something else also. This is trans, but in this particular example, both sides you have H, both sides Cl. Here Cl this side, HCl this side, opposite side. This is trans. So which will have more dipole moment? You can just see carbon is more electronegative. This will be towards carbon. This will be towards carbon. This chlorine is more electronegative. This bond moment will be towards chlorine. Whereas here, this will be towards chlorine. This is in the opposite direction. This is in this direction and the carbon is in this. So here you are having in the opposite directions. Right? So this will not have dipole moment greater. This will have more. So you will have the cis having more dipole moment than trans. We can say trans is getting cancelled. The dipole moment in the trans is 0. Cis is not 0. It is having the dipole moment. Now these type of examples also you may come across. These are dihalobenzene derivatives. If two halogens are present on the adjacent carbon atom, it is said to be ortho. If one leaving in between, it is meta. If opposite, it is para. Now if we are asked to compare the dipole moments of ortho, meta, para, you will always say these are opposite, means they are getting cancelled. Right? The dipole moments are getting cancelled. So this will be less. Then they are at an angle. This is still less angle. Lesser the angle, more the dipole moment. So ortho will be maximum, then meta and para will be least. Okay. Now just to save time, I have solved one numerical also, because sometimes it can be asked. Suppose you are asked a question, calculate percentage ionic character of HCl if the observed dipole moment is given and the bond length is given. Now there is a formula, please note down. The formula for calculating the percentage ionic character is mu observed, which is given here, divided by mu calculated. Calculated is by the formula what you calculate. Mu calculated is charge into distance. What is the charge we take in ESU? This is in ESU. 4.8 into 10 to the power minus 10 ESU. And the distance is 1.275 angstrom. We will convert into centimeter. Multiply it with 10 to the power 8 minus 8. So when you take out the product, you get this much ESU centimeter. If we convert this 10 to the power minus 18 ESU centimeter is nothing but 1 dBi. So we will write as 6.12 dBi. This we got now mu calculated. So now percentage ionic character is equal to mu observed divided by mu calculated into 100. Okay, so when you solve, you will get the answer as 16.83%. So sometimes, numericals can be also asked based on the dipole moment. Right? I hope you have followed this dipole moment properly. Please share the video with your friends so that each student gets benefited. And thank you for watching.